Hello, everyone. Welcome to the longest gap between episodes of Cheap Shot Culture that I think we really anticipated, didn't we?
A little bit.
Unforeseen issues has meant that we've not been able to get together and do another video. So this is the first time that we've done it since, I want to say, the last portion of the season. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think it was, we had still like 6 games. But this way, Fulham and West Brom were still not relegated at this point.
They still had a chance for survival when we last did our video. So, and I think the last one we did was a wrestling one, wasn't it? If I remember right.
Yeah, that was, Eva Marie was just her first promo came onto the TV.
Yeah. Sorry, but we're back anyway. Hopefully you enjoy it.
On TV for 2 weeks.
Hey, just to quickly go into it, completely off topic, but now that you've mentioned it, apparently she's going again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, have you not seen it?
No.
Not read it. I'll try and send it you, but apparently she's going.
Oh, okay. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your continued support. See you later.
Thanks for your paycheck.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Sound. So, brief summary of the end of last season, as for us as United fans, was finished second, got to the final, garbage in the final, lost to a shit De Gea penalty, and we've not signed anybody so far. That's pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Tom Heaton.
He's still not signed though. It's not been made official yet. So until he's...
Oh yeah. That pretty much sums up from the end of the season to where we are now.
It was a massive anticlimax, I think. I think they were already... I think they knew that they were going to finish second, and I think there's a lot of injuries within the club and stuff, and I think the players look really tired, and there were some that you probably wouldn't want to play, but you had to play because they were the best of what you had. And I think that really showed in the final. They just didn't look at all like they would win.
And to be fair, you can see that now with some of them in the European Championships. You know, like Bruno has been getting slated in the
needs a break, big time.
He needs a break. Rashford's only coming on for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see it in those guys who have not had a break or not been injured throughout the season. It's really showing on them now.
Yeah, it does. Going on to the Euros then. What do you think of the tournament so far?
I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what. Yesterday and today, I don't know what I'm doing with my life without some form of football being on the TV. You know, give me Slovakia versus North Macedonia. Give me that any day of the week right now.
So we did attempt a video a couple of weeks ago, and for whatever reason, it had no sound on it, and I just couldn't upload it with sound, so we scrapped it, and we decided to try again at another time, which is now. You mentioned that though on that video, that if that particular game was on Sky, you would not watch it.
I'd go nowhere near it.
But because it's the Euros, it's like, football, I must watch it. Let's watch it.
Yeah. I've got the fixtures in front of me because obviously we're going to get on to sort of the knockout stages in a bit. But, you know, you can go through some of the games that we've had. We've had Ukraine, North Macedonia. I'm going to keep mentioning North Macedonia because it's the first tournament they've ever been in.
Yeah.
You know, I have no interest in seeing their progression. But, my God, put it on BBC or ITV with Gary Lineker telling me about who's starting for them, and I am watching it.
Never heard of Pandev in my life until the Euros. I didn't know who he was.
The oldest guy ever. Ronaldo gave him a shirt the other day when they faced Netherlands.
Great.
Unbelievable. I was flicking back and two from ITV to from BBC One to BBC Two the other night for Portugal, France, Germany, Hungary. Back and forth I was. Love it.
Yeah, I did that for England and Czech Republic. I was more watching to see what Scotland did, which, as it turns out was not a lot on what everybody expected. But we'll go into that in a bit.
Yeah, because I am physically out here to offend any Scottish viewers we have today after this performance against Croatia.
Sound. So we'll start with England. What do you make of their tournament so far? Because there's a lot of fans that aren't really enamored with what they've managed to pull off so far in terms of the performances.
Yeah, for me, and this is not me being a fickle England fan, which when we get onto sort of the knockout stages and onwards, people will start to think I am a fickle England fan. But I think they're doing all right. A clean sheet.
Not conceded yet, haven't they?
No, not conceded at all. Don't really, obviously Scotland give them a little go, but don't. Pickford's being outstanding. Not really looking like he's going to concede a goal, especially from corners, because he seems to be demanding that box at the moment. I do think a lot of people freaked out a little bit against Scotland. I think Luke Shaw come out. I don't know if you heard this after one of the games, after the Scotland game, and said if the results were the opposite way around, so if we drew 0-0 with Croatia but beat Scotland 1-0, no one would really care. It was the fact that it was against Scotland and the hype about it and stuff.
Fair enough.
We beat a Czech Republic side who beat Scotland with an unbelievable 2 goals. And took Croatia to I think it was at 1-1 as well. So they weren't even beaten at this point before they faced us. I'm actually quite happy from where I probably was skeptical when I keep seeing Sterling's name pop up on the score sheet, and every time I'm moaning about Sterling being on the team sheet, he goes and scores. So I will keep moaning about Sterling being on that team sheet until. But yeah, I'm quite pleased to where they're at the moment.
Good. I think in terms of the Scotland game, I think you have to be fair to Scotland and say they really did play well, and I kind of expected them to do that. I think I said to you at the time, it wasn't going to be a walkover for England. They are a good team. They just lack a goal scorer, and I think that's what's cost them. I think they really need that one player that will put a goal in for them, especially when you go against the first game. They had so many chances, and it would have been a different game if a couple of them had gone in. They could have possibly gone through, and I just think that was the difference. I don't think England's performance against them was particularly great. It was a bit reminiscent of watching United at times. So many great players just not being able to make that killer pass in the final third kind of thing. But I know I did think Scotland played well, so fair play to them on that one.
Yeah, I think it's now, it's 1:30 as we're recording this, and I think it's only right now at 1:30 we do our first really annoying our Scottish viewers. I sat there the other night and I laughed my head off when they got beat by Croatia, because I'll be honest, after Friday night, you would have thought they went through. The way they celebrated, the way Graham Souness was banging on about them, you would have thought that they beat England. Yet they didn't. Rod Stewart was at Wembley and he was celebrating. They're celebrating a draw. They're celebrating the first point they got at the Euros. And then they went and they got hammered at home to Croatia, a team that England beat quite comfortably in my eyes. So I just thought, I thought the occasion got to England a little bit.
See, I'm a little bit opposite to you then, I think, really, because I would have been happy for Scotland to go through. Whatever the result, whether it was a win or a draw, as long as they didn't get beat by us, they were always going to buzz off it, because they've always been in our shadow kind of thing, especially like recent times. They were never. I don't think we're ever in danger of getting beat by them, but I always sort of like expected that they would celebrate the draw as if they'd beat us, or like it's their World Cup kind of thing. But no, I would have been happy for them to go through. I'm not. I don't hate Scotland as much as you do.
and you know what? I don't hate Scotland. That is it.
I know what you mean.
It's not a thing of I hate the country, because I don't. It's just when it comes to football, I'm an England fan. And I know people have other rivals, but the main rivals, and we'll get onto one of them in a bit. But are your home nations? So your Wales, your Scotland, and your Ireland. And then I think the next one up there would be Germany, and we'll touch upon that in a minute because of the next round. But it's just like Man United. I don't want to go and see in the Champions League. I don't want Manchester City to win the Champions League final. I don't want them to do well in the Champions League. I don't want them to do well in any competition that they're in. So for me, when it comes to England, that is the exact same for Scotland and Wales. I'll be more than happy to see Denmark tomorrow night give Wales an absolute spanking.
I could actually see that happening. I could actually see that happening. I think Wales, in terms of sort of like their group, their keeper's played blind. I think their keeper's really kept him in it. I think other than the one goal he set up, I think Bale's been pretty quiet. Don't think he's done an awful lot.
But to be fair, and people, maybe will answer me this in the comments and correct me, but there's only a handful of your star players that are showing up. Mbappe's not really showing up for France. We talked about Bruno then, not really showing up for Portugal. Morata has been poor for Spain. Some of the big name players going into these tournaments. The only two that I can Harry Kane for England, not done
anything.
I think he had one shot on target now in the tournament, maybe two. I'm not too sure. I wasn't counting. The only ones I can name off the top of my head are Ronaldo. Obviously, Lewandowski is now out of the competition, but he scored the goal for Poland. But for me, Pogba has been unbelievable for France.
What is it with Pogba? I mean, I find the games he's played this season for us, United, I think there's been some games where he's dragged us through, and if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't have got the points. There's been some games he has played just as good as he does for France, but it's not consistent enough, and he always plays well for France. He's never had a bad game as far as I'm concerned. I've never seen him have a bad game for France. Again, comments, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have, then obviously let us know. Why does it go that way?
So I had this conversation with my brother the other day, during the match, and we put it down to the players he's played, not the players he's played along like in the team of, because Man United do have world class players in their team, we know that. But it's who he's playing alongside. So obviously, towards the back end of the season, he was sort of getting pushed out onto the left hand side, to play on the wing, which I know people say he did for Juve. Obviously for France, he's playing in the centre of midfield, but he's got Kante alongside him, so he knows he can push forward. He can play those passes through. He doesn't have to worry about what's behind him, so to speak. So, and when you look at Man United throughout the years that he's been back at the club, we've not really had one strong defence, a really strong defence, and two world-class defensive midfielders alongside him. That's taken nothing away from like Scott McTominay, because I think he is still young and he will get to a point where hopefully he will be a pinnacle, an anchor of that midfield. I've always said to put him at centre back because he played there for Scotland the other day, and I think he does a decent job at centre back. But he's got N'Golo Kante right next to him in that French squad, and it frees him up. Where you look at him at Man United, he's dropping back too deep. He's collecting the ball from the centre backs. His game is different in France than it is at Manchester.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary. I think he does tend to play a different role. I think he is that little bit more defensive when he plays for us. But then if we're saying that Paul Pogba for France is brilliant because of N'Golo Kante, then how good is Kante?
Oh, N'Golo Kante, I've said it right now. I don't care if France win the Euros or not. He is my Ballon d'Or winner for this year. And to be fair, he could have done absolutely nothing for Chelsea and just played in that Champions League final. And I would say exactly the same because he was unbelievable in that final.
Great player, outstanding player. He is just that good. I think if one of the big clubs went in for him now, you're going to be looking more towards the 150, 200 mark. It just is.
Yeah.
He could command that kind of figure.
If you're getting 100 million for Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, then you're doubling that for N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, you never hear of anybody complaining that he doesn't score goals. That's not his job. I don't want him to score goals. Just want him to do what he does. I'd love to have somebody like that at United. And who knows? Maybe that's. I don't know. Maybe he'll grow into that as he gets older and stuff. But I think for somebody as good as him, to sort of like bring them into the club, you're talking a big fee. But we'll see. So, team of the tournament so far, then are you going France?
No. So I'm going to give you two. One team that has gone through to the knockout stages, and one team that has gone out but has shocked me a little bit.
I think I know what you're going to say then with that one.
I think Italy have been amazing. 3 games, 3 wins, and comfortable wins as well. Like Wales did not look. I think it was only 1-0, but Wales didn't look like they were going to touch them.
No.
I don't know if you know this, but Mancini, who I know he's had some bad rap from us, but has come out and said he has picked 26 players and he will play the 26 players or the 20 how many players he's got. He will play them all.
Yeah.
Because he went to one of them once and didn't play or something along those lines anyway.
Yeah.
So it's massive respect to him. So Italy are my pick of the group stage so far.
Okay.
And me shock one is Hungary.
Yeah, I knew you'd say Hungary. They have been a surprise. Yeah, they have been. It is a shame for them, really.
Yeah, I'll be. This is no. This would be no shot to anyone else if they've done it. So we've done like a little mini tournament in work, and all the team leaders that I work with have all been given 2 teams each, and there's only I think 3 or 4 teams that we've not chose because when I decided to do it, there wasn't enough to go around to make it fair, and we left out North Macedonia for one, and the other team that I left out was Hungary. And I was so close to going, what the hell am I going to do to get through when they were facing Germany the other night? Because they could have gone through.
Very unlucky.
Yeah, for me, Italy, Hungary, Sweden, because they look decent as well.
So I definitely agree with Hungary for the surprise of the tournament. I think for me, the team of the tournament so far, I'd probably go France, but Holland or the Netherlands, should we say? Nobody gave them a chance. And I don't think they've lost, have they?
Who, France? No.
No, Netherlands. I don't think they've.
Netherlands, sorry.
I don't think they've lost, and I don't think they've conceded either. I could be wrong, but I think
you beat North Macedonia 3-0.
Yeah.
Austria 2-0.
Yeah.
And they beat Ukraine 3-2.
All right. Okay. So
hell of a game that, actually, to be fair.
So I don't know. Nobody's giving them a chance really, and I think to win the 3 games, and which maybe they probably should have. The hardcore Netherlands fans would probably expect it, but for the whole talk of leading up to the tournament, nobody really give Holland a chance, and I've been pleasantly surprised by them, even without Donny van der Beek. Not that even would have made much difference.
And again, if there's any Netherlands fans out there and you want to say what they were expecting before, just put it in the comments.
Yeah. Cool. So what about goal of the tournament so far? I'm going to go first because I don't think this can be beat, but I'm going to go Croatia's second against Scotland, the Luka Modric goal.
Oh, okay.
Started out from the back. Great team play, passing in between them, kept the ball for ages, and then his finish was just sublime. Okay. It was either going to be that one or Ronaldo's, where he cleared it from the back, legged it, and then finished it off. What a machine that guy is.
Yeah, no, two good choices, and my head was going towards that Portugal one. I'm gonna go for Yarmolenko's against Holland in the first game for Ukraine.
Okay.
I think it was Yarmolenko anyway. It was one hell. I can't really describe it too much, but it was one hell of a finish.
Okay.
I think he cut it. He got the ball on the right hand side, cut in, and it was just like a side of his foot, but it just like looped up and then went in. It was no keeper was saving it. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Yarmolenko's for Ukraine.
Another one that did come close for me, and it might get mentioned in the comments maybe, but De Bruyne's.
Yeah.
Lukaku's involvement in that wound me up because we just didn't see it at United. We just didn't see it. He was so big and strong, and he just when he's on it, you just don't get the ball from him. And I think that the interlinking play between him and then the finish, it was a good goal. But I think,
obviously you can't take away Czech Republic's goal against Scotland, both of them. But Schick's goal from that far out, you can't take that away from him. It was one hell of a goal and stuff. But I think we're basing this on team play, and Portugal's Ronaldo's one was phenomenal. But Benzema's the other day, Pogba's pass through, that was one hell of a finish. Just a pass through. Maybe Spain's own goal from is it Dubravka?
Yeah,
what the hell was he doing? I don't know, but I don't know what he was doing or thinking of, but let's throw that in there. And obviously Scotland's against England. Oh no, they didn't win. Sorry, carry on.
Sound. So is it the round of, are they classing it as the round of 16, or is it the knockout? What is that what it's called now?
Round of 16, yeah.
Round of 16. So should we go through each game and give some predictions?
Well, yes. And what I will do, Philip.
Okay.
Is I will write down our predictions on this piece of paper.
Right. Cool.
And I think whoever comes the closest wins. Maybe the loser has to do a little forfeit.
Okay. I'm game.
I don't know what the forfeit will be.
Okay.
We could maybe leave it out to our one viewer that we get.
Yeah. Forfeits, suggestions in the comments below, please.
So,
Go on then.
Wales versus Denmark.
Denmark.
Okay. Italy, Austria.
Oh, you're not going to tell me what yours are? Are you going to?
I was writing them down, to be fair.
All right. Okay.
No, I agree. I think Denmark are getting through there.
Okay. So what, the next one's Italy and Austria?
Italy versus Austria.
Italy.
Italy. This would be awful if we had to say predictions and then we both lose. Netherlands versus Czech Republic.
Netherlands.
I'm going to say Netherlands as well. Now I feel like I have to go somewhere wrong with you in a minute. I'm sure we will. Belgium versus Portugal, which, by the way, what a game that will be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I go for Belgium. I'm getting mine in there first. I go for Belgium.
Portugal.
Ooh.
Portugal.
Croatia versus Spain.
Croatia.
Yeah. I think if you asked me that before the tournament started, I would have said Spain, but I don't think they've been.
Don't recognise the Spain team. I don't recognise half of them. Don't know who they are. They're not the team that they used to be. And I think with Modric and Croatia, you've still got a chance. And they did pretty much tear Scotland apart. And I'll go Croatia.
Okay. France versus Switzerland.
Do you really need to ask?
Okay, Switzerland then.
No, obviously France.
Yeah, France for me. Sweden, Ukraine. Sweden for me. And I've left this one to last. England versus Germany.
It was going to happen. They were going to place each other at some point. It always happens. I don't know what tricks his old sniffy fingers got up his sleeve or down his pants. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. To be fair, when I did text my dad and say, I fancy England to do him. I have to, don't I? I'm English. I have to.
You go for England?
I am.
Same.
I thought you might do. Do you genuinely believe it, though?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'll say this, and this is what I was saying before about being a fickle England fan. I've got, and I'm hoping, I've still got it here. So on my phone here, sponsored by Samsung.
We wish.
on the Euro app, we have a predictor.
Yeah.
So I put my predictions through. So Belgium, Italy, France, Croatia, Sweden, England, Netherlands, and I actually put. You know what? I'm going to change this. I put Wales down before, so I'm going to put Wales. Change my Denmark to Wales.
Okay.
So you do that, and it sort of walks you through.
Right.
Yeah. So the way I did it, if England do beat Germany, they would go on to face either Sweden or Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I know Sweden have looked good, but I think the World Cup, that just been we beat them quite comfortably. So I think we can get through that. The other teams that we could face, if we get through that, are out of Netherlands, Czech Republic, Wales, or Denmark. I think based upon their performance, especially against Ukraine, and they didn't really face much in the other two games, I think we could beat Netherlands if they got there. And then that would take us to the final. Bearing in mind, the semi-final is at Wembley. 40? So the game against Germany is 45,000 fans can be in there.
think so.
Like I said to my other half before, you're not going to get many German fans coming over for it because of the restrictions and stuff.
Yeah.
So most of that 45,000 is going to be English fans. So you can only imagine what that game's going to be like. And then I think the semi-final and the final was 60,000. So I have predicted, and granted the final is me being very fickle, but if England get to the semi-final, they get to the final. Because could you imagine 60,000 fans at Wembley? And again, majority are going to be England fans with the restrictions that are currently in place and the travel restrictions. I could see it. And I know we touched upon this video that didn't work last time about Euro '96, and I was 2 at the time, so I couldn't tell you anything about it and what it was like and to watch it. But just some part me feels like if we can get to at least the semi-finals, we're making it to the final, and we'll give whoever is there a bloody good go, because one, we will have the home support behind us as much and as full as we possibly can do.
I get the logic. I just remember playing Iceland, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we'll beat Iceland. Yeah, this will be cool. It's coming home." Didn't come home, did it? For England, it never pans out the way it should. You're right. This should be. I don't think the Germany team was the same as it was. They're still dangerous, but it should be a straightforward path to the final. But it never is, and that's why I'm kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. I think. I hope you're right. Genuinely hope you're right. But I'll stay reserved for now. What?
This is me last. My last Scotland rip. What's football and Scotland got in common?
Go on.
They're both coming home.
And on that note, thank you very much for watching. We shall see you on our next video. And don't forget, suggestions for your forfeits in the comments section will be very much appreciated. Cheers, matey.
Cheers, mate.
See you later. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.